Hi, I'm Kristin Omdahl and welcome to my studio. In this series of videos, I'm going to show you how to make the Shangri-La Tapestry Crochet Bag. Tapestry crochet is an incredible technique for creating gorgeous colorwork with simple stitches, and the added bonus is the fabric is reversible. If you can double crochet, you can make this bag. To make this beautiful bag, you're going to need 2 balls each of 2 different colors of Be So Baby yarn, which is DK weight 100% milk fiber. I'm going to use 2 balls of color peach and 2 balls of color turquoise for the sample, and the original bag was done in 2 balls of navy blue and orchid pink. You're also going to need a size E4 or 3.5 millimeter crochet hook. Follow the link provided to order Be So Baby yarn and download your pattern. In the first video, I showed you how to crochet the circular base of the bag, which means we learned how to do the increases while at the same time doing our color changes. In part 2 video, we're going to work even in the round, which is where we'll do the side walls of the bag. And in this section, we're going to work even in the round in double crochet and doing this simple stitch repeat for the color change, which uses, it's a 6 stitch repeat using the 2 different colors. And so we're going to go by this chart, and I wanted to point out that the chart shows you how to work in the round, because we're going to have to do a chain 3 at the beginning of the round to count as a double crochet, then work all the way around repeating what's in the yellow shaded area. Then at the end of the round, slip stitch to join. Now there will be tips and tricks along the way because we are changing color, and notice that I have shown you on here when it is color A and when it is color B. So let's get started. This is what we did in the first video, and even though I didn't do the entire base of the bag, I did end on a repeat of a multiple of 6. So in the full size bag, the repeat is 12 stitches per repeat, which is a multiple of 6, and so in the smaller version every repeat has only 6 stitches, which obviously is a multiple of 6. And if you remember from the first video, we are doing the pink symbols in the chart is what we're doing with peach, and the blue symbols is what we're doing with turquoise. So we're going to start in this round here, which you'll notice in your chart is a lot lighter than the other rounds. That's to show that it is the last round of the base and not the first round of the walls. So we're just using that to show you where you're placing your stitches from the previous round. So round 1 begins with a chain 3, which counts as a double crochet, and what you want to check, just like we did in the video part 1, is to make sure the next stitch is in the same color, because we want to know if we have to change color before the last step. So we don't need to here, so we're going to chain 3 all in the turquoise, which is our color B. And then our next stitch is also a double crochet in the turquoise, which is color B. You want to make sure you're working around the yarn that you're not using. So when we're working with color B, we're crocheting around color A to hide it as we go, so that we have that beautiful reversible fabric that doesn't show our floats on the wrong side. Want to double check that we don't have to change color here, and it's true. We have a chain 3 and 2 double crochets all in the same color, so we don't have to change color mid stitch here. But on that third one, you'll see we do have to change color for the next stitch. So we're going to work all the way, I'll start that over. So we're going to work our double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Now the rest of the double crochet would be to yarn over, pull through 2 a second time. However, we are needing to change color because our next stitch is done in peach. So we're going to finish the stitch, that last step of the stitch, in the next color so that we're positioned to work our next stitch in the next color. But then we'll go back to the chart here and see that we only have one stitch standing alone in the peach. So we're going to work the stitch only to the last step and then change color again. And then we'll continue on in the turquoise for 3 more stitches. And there's our 6 stitch repeat. We have our chain 3 done and we have our 6 stitch repeat done one time. So now you want to repeat that 6 stitch repeat all the way around, and on the last repeat of it I'll show you what we do slightly differently. So we're going to do 2 stitches in color B, one stitch in color A, and 3 stitches in color B. So it was 2 stitches in color B, 1 in color A, and 3 in color B. And we're going to repeat this all the way around. Okay, we've finished our last full repeat on round 1, and so what you'll notice now is that if you're repeating this across, then you have 1, 2 more stitches here, then you come around to the other side of the round and 3 more stitches here before the slip stitch, because that chain 3 that wasn't in the shaded area is actually the other component of that last 6 stitch repeat. So we're going to do 2 stitches in turquoise here, and you'll notice if we come to the other side of the round, the next stitch is in peach, so you want to change color on the last step of that last turquoise stitch. We're only doing 1 stitch in peach, so we'll change color again. And the last 2 stitches in the round are turquoise. And then we'll slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 at the beginning of the round to join. And that's what the end of round 1 should look like. And because we're not doing any more increases, you can see it's already starting to curl up a little bit. So the remainder of the walls will continue working straight up, and you'll definitely start seeing the shape of your bag. Round 2 begins with a chain 3 that counts as a double crochet. This will be in turquoise, and then the first stitch of the repeat will also be in turquoise. Then the repeat is 1 turquoise, 3 peach, 2 turquoise. So let's get started on that with a chain 3. Then 1 turquoise. But we're changing color now, so we'll switch just before the last step of that stitch, work 3 stitches in peach. Save the last step of the last stitch for the next color to get positioned for the next color, and the next 2 stitches in this repeat are in turquoise. Okay, so our repeat for this round, we've got our chain 3, which isn't part of the repeat. The shaded part is our repeat. Our repeat is 1 turquoise, 3 peach, 2 turquoise, and you want to repeat that all the way around. Best way to keep your tails or your working yarns from not tangling is to make a decision about which yarn should be in which position. Notice that I'm pulling, let's see, when we get to the next color change I'll show you. So I'm keeping whatever yarn I'm not working with on top of the work so that we work over it and it's hidden, but I'm also picking up my yarns from different positions. I'm picking up the peach from the back. I'll do my stitches now in the peach. And now I'm ready to change color again. I'm picking up my turquoise from the front. And if you alternate which place you pick up each yarn, they won't tangle. Now, should they tangle, as long as you're paying attention, it won't be that big of a deal because you can overcompensate for them to untangle them. But if it gets too tangled, you could always put your work down and pick up the 2 balls of yarn and untangle them that way. But the best practice that I have found is to get in the habit of picking up each color from a different position, and that way they never get tangled. And it's just a lot more fun to work without tangles. If you need a refresher on the stitches we're using today, please feel welcome to follow the link to the Crochet Stitch Library, where I go over in great detail how to do the double crochet. And if you want more tips and tricks on doing tapestry crochet, I do have top 10 tips for tapestry crochet on my website, and that link is in the video description as well. Okay, so we finished our last repeat of round 2, which means now we have 5 additional stitches left to do. So the first one is turquoise, the next 3 are peach, and the last one is turquoise. We're going to slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 at the beginning of the round to join. That is the 6th stitch of that last repeat. So now we're ready to work round 3. Round 3 starts with a chain 3 in turquoise, our color B, but then we change color right away to the peach for the next stitch, and the next 5 stitches actually. So we need to do the last step of that chain 3 in a color change. So we're going to start with a chain 2 in turquoise, then change color for that 3rd chain, and you just need to pull the turquoise yarn taut so that it stays nice and firm, and then we'll do our next 5 stitches in turquoise or in peach. On the last stitch, we change color on the last step to do our next stitch in turquoise. But I believe this is, okay, so this 6th stitch repeat for round 3 is 5 stitches in peach, 1 stitch in turquoise. So you're going to change color on the one and only. So we'll switch back to peach. So it's 5 stitches in peach, 1 stitch in turquoise, and you want to repeat that all the way around to the last 5 stitches. Continue on through rounds 5 and 6, then repeat rounds 1 through 6 for the chevron pattern. We repeat it for a total of 4 times for the full size bag. In the next video, I'll be showing you how to do the striped hem, and then we'll do the handles and assembly. For those of you that don't know me, I am an author, designer, entrepreneur, single mom, and a teacher. I hand dye and sell many beautiful yarns. I'm the author of dozens of crafting books and hundreds of free patterns. Have you seen my YouTube channel? There you can find hundreds of how-to videos on knitting, crochet, crafting, cooking, DIY, jewelry making, and so much more. I also host a live stream podcast on my YouTube channel 6 days a week. You can join me live at sunrise at the beach. It's so much fun. It is called Create, Share, Inspire Podcast. I do hope you can join us. Ask Me Anything live. It's a lot of fun. I also have a charity, Project Kristin Cares. A portion of every sale from my brand supports survivors of domestic violence. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.